How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to MySQL's tutorial series. Today we're going to be diving into string functions, and here are the timestamps so you can pause this video and jump around to any time that you want. String functions are huge in real-world data work because raw data is messy. You'll constantly need to clean, format, trim text fields, especially names, emails, and IDs. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use string functions to clean and transform data like you would on the job. Alright, let's just jump right in. In today's lesson, we're covering string functions in MySQL. String functions are just functions that help you manipulate text. So if you need to combine words together, clean messy values, change uppercase to lowercase, pull out a string, search for certain text, replace text, or match patterns, that's exactly what string functions are for. And this is an important one because once you know how to work with text in SQL, your queries become a lot more clean, a lot more useful, and honestly way more powerful. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the major MySQL string functions step by step using real examples, and by the end, you're going to have a very solid understanding of how to work with text in SQL. Let's get right into it. We're gonna first get started off with the easiest ones, and these functions just change the case of a string. Upper turns the text into fully uppercase, and lower, as you guessed it, it turns the text into lowercase. UCASE and LCASE is basically the same thing as upper and lower, respectively. Alright, so let me first show you how upper would work. So I'm gonna take two columns here of the same columns, and so I'm gonna just take this again so you can see a side-by-side comparison, and I'm just gonna add upper here, but then of course open parentheses and close parentheses, and then remove that, and we're gonna do semicolon. Let's run this. So now, as you can see, it returns a result of the first column, just the regular column, how it's written in the data set, and then the second column, which we use the upper on. This is showing the same data but fully uppercase. So keep in mind, it capitalizes the whole thing. It doesn't capitalize the first letter of each word or anything like that, just the whole thing. So now I'm going to show you how lower looks, and you should probably have a good idea on how this is going to turn out. So let's do a different column here. We'll do select, let's do city, and we'll do lower city, and then from hospitals, semicolon. And there we go. So now you can kind of see what upper and lower both do. And just so you know that I'm not lying about the UCASE and LCASE, saying that they're the same thing as upper and lower, I'll show you how those look too. And for this example, I'll just use the same columns. So let's take this, put it right here, and we're gonna do UCASE this time. We'll take lower city, but we'll do LCASE. And let's run that. And as you can see, it does fully uppercase and fully lowercase exactly the way upper and lower do. So overall, what this is doing is pretty simple. This is really useful when you want consistency in your data set, especially when your data comes in really messy. Now let's talk about length, and I'll explain why I have this word written down in just a second, but the length function counts how many characters are in a string, which is a text. And character length, this over here, which is the same thing as char length, it's just written in a different way, that gives you the number of characters. So you're probably asking, what's even the difference between the two? Length returns the length in bytes. So what that means is that when a word has special characters or emojis, one character will use more than one byte. And so if I circle back to this word right over here, this has a special character on here. The E has an accent. So if I used length on this one, this E would count as 2. So in total, it would be 5. Whereas if I use character length on here, this would count as 4 because it's just simply counting the characters. So to make it simple for you, use character length when you simply want to see how many characters are being used, and then use length when you want to see how much storage space is in a text. All right, now let's write a query for this. So I'm going to get rid of this, and for this example, I'm going to use the city column because city names are simple text values, so they make this really easy to understand. And I'm going to be using length city as well right here to see how long each city values is in bytes. And I'm naming it, let's name it byte length. We're adding an alias here, and then from hospitals, let's run it and expand on this. Now we can see each city along with its length in bytes. So if a city has 7 letters, you'll usually see 7 here for normal text. And the key thing to remember is that length measures bytes. Now I'm going to show you character lengths, and I'm just going to take the same query as I used before and just add this right here, but do character this time. And then let's name it something else. We'll name it character count. So the reason why I'm using the same city column on purpose is because we can compare the functions directly. And keep in mind, character length tells me how many characters are going to be in each city name. So let's just run this. Take this and hit that lightning bolt. Now here we can see the number of characters in each city name, and keep in mind that a lot of the results are often going to look the same as length unless they have a special character in them. And at the end of the day, this is great when you want to measure text, validate string sizes, or filter based on word length. Now here's the one that I've been waiting for, and personally this is my favorite string function, and in my opinion it's the most useful string function as well. It's concat, which is concatenation. And I'm sure you've probably used this in Excel. Basically what it does is that it joins strings together, it combines them. And you're probably gonna be doing this a lot in a real workplace setting where you're combining the first name column with the last name column. But unfortunately for my tables, I don't have a first name and a last name, so I'll be using different columns. And this is pretty simple to use. So we'll do select, and let's do city and state. And here, we're going to use concat. Let's do city and state. We're going to combine these two, and we're going to do from hospitals, which is our table. Oops, semicolon. And now let's run this. So as you can see, it's combining the text, but it's combining it in a way where there's no space or there's no comma. And let me show you, there's an easy way to actually add that in. So instead of just having a comma here, we're going to do comma, and then we're going to add an apostrophe symbol, and then another apostrophe symbol, and then do that. So what this is going to do, this is going to add the space between the city and the state. And let's run that. This is going to look a lot nicer. So now it's adding a little space in between. So it's easier to read and cleaner to look at. But to make it look even better, I can even add another character between this as a filler for the space. So I'm gonna do, let's just do a comma and run this. And now you get like an even better version of that last one. And you can do anything you want with that space. You can even do an and, you can do a dash, but make sure you're using something that makes sense. For this example, using and, that wouldn't make any sense. And so let's just stick with the comma here and just do it like that. Or you can even do a dash and run that. But keep in mind, you also want to make sure that you don't want to have this ugly looking column name right here. Let's just give it a nice little name. We'll call it city state and run that. Much better. So keep in mind, with concat, you're probably going to be using this a lot when you're working in a real workplace setting. It's really useful for transforming raw data into something that is more user-friendly because of its ability to merge 2 or more strings together, column values, or expressions into a single string. Now let's extract pieces of text, and what left is going to do, it's going to grab characters from the left side, and right is the exact opposite. It grabs characters from the right side. Substring grabs text from a specific position. All right, let's do an example here. We're going to do select hospital name, and then let's do left. We'll take this thing over here, this column, and don't forget the comma. We're going to do from hospitals. Close this off. But we're not done with this just yet. We have to add the comma and the number. And the number is going to specify the number of characters that will extract from the left side of the string. So you simply just have to add a comma here. And then let's just do 10, just a random number here. So you can kind of see what it looks like. All right. Now, what it's done is that it did exactly what we asked it to do. It extracted 10 characters from this first column. And just as a side note, you don't need to add both columns here. You can just do this here and that'll be fine. But the reason why I'm writing 2 columns is that so you can see a side-by-side comparison, and that way we can figure out how many characters we'll need to extract. So as you can see in this case, this is an unfinished text, and you don't want to have that in the real world when you're at a workplace. And so we know that we're missing one more character here. So let's finish this off. We're going to do 11, and that's going to look much better. All right, and that looks a lot better. That's taking the full word this time. So now let me show you an example of the write function. And I'm going to take this same exact query, but this time I'm just going to use 2 characters because I just want this n number right over here. And let's take write, and we're going to do 2, just like that. And now we're extracting the last 2 characters of whatever string is written in this field. So as you can see, it's pretty simple, and it's very useful when codes, labels, IDs, or structured names are packaged into a single text field. And now let me show you how to use substring. So remember, substring will grab text from a specific position. And say in this situation, we just want to grab medical. So I'm just going to take this query first, because I don't want to rewrite everything, and we'll do substring right there. And so this time the first number is going to represent the position that we want to start off at. So in this case, since medical is over here in the middle, we want to count how many characters it takes to get to medical. So we know North Bridge, according to this first query, it's 11 characters. So let's do 11, 12, and then 13. 13 is where medical starts. So we'll write 13 here, comma again, and then another number. And then this second number, we specify how many characters we want to go to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's take that and let's run it. All right, now we have the full medical text extracted cleanly just like that. And this is something that I found to be very, very useful. Moving on to trim, and this one's pretty simple. It just helps you clean up the strings by removing unwanted leading and trailing characters, typically with spaces. So let me show you an action here. We'll do select trim, and then we'll do an apostrophe, and we'll just write a random word. Let's do Medicaid, even though that's a very important word, and we'll get rid of the period right there and another period right there. And so what this is going to do, it's going to remove the leading and trailing spaces since we're just using trim. But let's run it. Let me show you what it looks like. And what this did, it removed the extra spaces behind the word and in front of the word. Now if I do L trim, that's just going to remove the spaces to the left side, which is this, but it's going to keep the spaces right here. So let's run that. And same thing with R trim. R trim is just going to, well, it's not the same thing, but it's the opposite. It's going to remove the spaces on the left side and then keep the spaces on the right side. So let's run that. And there you have it. That's just a quick lesson on trim, and it helps you clean up the strings by removing any unwanted spaces. Let's keep going here. Now we're going to talk about replace. And to put it simply, replace just swaps one substring for another substring. So I'm just going to take this here because I don't want to keep writing it over and over, but let's do hospital name, and then we'll do replace. We'll take this column name again because we want to replace something inside the hospital name. And so let's do medical center. So this first parameter right here is going to be the parameter that you want to replace. And then the second parameter is what you want to replace it with. So again, apostrophe and then med center, we'll just call it that. And this can be anything you want. This could be even, whatever, a bunch of slop. But let's do med center and then Let's give it a little alias to make it look nice. And let's run it. So now what you're seeing here, this first result is this hospital name, which is untouched. And then this column right here is all changed up with the updated name. And so this one is pretty simple. All you're doing is swapping text based on value. We're almost at the finish line here. Now we're going to talk about this function called locate. And what this does is helps you find where the text appears inside of another string. So let's just take this query here and let's run it. All right, and so inside of this column, let's just say that I want to find exactly where medical is located in, what character. So I'm just going to take this and let's do locate. We're going to do, since we want medical, we're going to identify which substring that we want, comma, and now you're going to identify the column name, which is hospital name. Simple, just like that. And now you run this. And there we go. Now you get the character where medical is located. And this is useful for long strings. So if you want to find out a specific substring inside of that text where it's located, this is what you would use. And just to be real with you guys, you probably will never use this, but you never know. It might come up in a situation. And if you do happen to know it, people are going to be impressed. Alright everyone, that is it for this video. So now you should have a really strong understanding of how string functions work in MySQL and when to use them. And honestly, once you get good at this stuff, you can start cleaning data in not just Excel, but also SQL. As always, I'll be putting these queries in my GitHub page and I'll link that down below so you can review them and learn from them. If you got value from this video, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm continuing the SQL tutorial series and I also already have beginner-friendly SQL content on the channel. So if you're trying to build your skills from the ground up and actually understand SQL in a way that feels simple and practical, you're in the right place. My goal with these videos is to make SQL easier to learn, easier to remember, and way less confusing than how most people teach it. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for the next video in this series. We've got a lot more coming and we're gonna keep leveling up your SQL skills step by step. Once again, my name is Sharif. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.